Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. Sorry, we're just a little bit late on that. Thought I had another minute. Anyway, hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice Thursday tonight. Um, so yeah, apparently you guys didn't like the dog part. So we'll that's gonna be quick. There's no pictures. There's nothing like that. Um, just don't worry, guys. It'll be all right. Say who got first tonight? By the way, we need to check. Bifrons first. With the switchies. Mm. um, Wrestler Town. This is pretty good too. if you if you a white girl, you also if every dog she ever met. Yes. Very true. Very true. When you're looking for a partner out there, Kings, keep that in mind. I'm surprised it's not on the Everywhere podcast or the Whatever podcast yet. When that guy's talking to uh, all the hoes out there who have their OnlyFans and they won't give them up. Oh, sorry. Thought I'd clean my glasses. Might as well do it right now. Hope everybody's been having some good weather because I know here today, holy cow, it was like 80 degrees and just like, it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Richard Gruber says, do lawyers get to enjoy the moments when they grill cops on the stand? Yes, and I got to do that today. It was a lot of fun. So, yes, it was a lot of fun because I basically got him to admit he had no idea what was going on. So yes, it was very much a fun time. Amateur Iconoclast says, I warned y'all about them white girls. Chop Susie says, can we leave out the bestiality? We're just going to touch on it quick. And just because it's one of those eternal truths. So let's see here. Colt Reynolds says, yes. Greeting fellow based and red pilled chads. Yes. Bendover says, I'm just here for the white girl dog pics. Oh, Senor Spielbergo. Oh, crap. Yes. Here I was thinking I was doing really good. Had everything else set up and we were ready to go. I was like, life was good. And I forgot my checklist right here on the side. Who was it that told me about the checklist? I did it and I didn't even look at it, that's the problem here. That's the real problem. Okay. Sorry, guys. Got to put this in there. If you guys want to join a chat where you can pretty much do whatever you want, even some glowy stuff, potentiallycriminal.locals.com allows you to join the live chat. And you can kind of do whatever you want, is the very much neat part there. It's up now, guys, and I'm going to join. Now, I wish I could take that out and put it on its own, but I cannot do that. How is it a nice night when you're finishing tax crap? I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, so that's why it's a nice night for me. Cult of Personality for $2. Thank you very, very much. Says, man, the left really wants Clarence Thomas gone. Yeah, can't have that strong, independent black man out there, doing whatever. Now, does it look like he may have done something? Sure, but I'm sure they all have done that. And yes, it is weird. The Supreme Court really has no governing mechanisms, but when you're the highest court and have been treated like robed clerics throughout history, there isn't really much you can do to stop them. Stabby saying, made you a little something this week. Ooh, sounds interesting. I have a few more packages I want to do. Expect a package next week. Okay. Just as long as it doesn't kaboom, I'm always good about it. But I mean, if it does, I guess I'll open it on stream, or I'll open it, record it, and I'm sure it'll be lull worthy. Oh gosh, the only thing I do not like about YouTube sometimes, it does not help you get all your shit in order. So we got another minute or two. I think we're gonna let some more people come in because I know the numbers are coming up. Dudley Lucky saying, "What's up?" Not a whole lot tonight. This is who we are. Said it was 90 here. Ooh. DD saying, "Have you ever looked at the map of incest rates in the world?" Not gonna say I have. A lot of different, terrible maps that are out there, and that's not one I'm necessarily looking at. It's Crying Shame, hello. Freedom Thinker, hello. It's 87 and it sucked. Yeah, Ohio had perfect weather today. Where's Tweety saying, "Where's Drex when you're needed?" yeah, Drex somewhere just sat up in bed. Oh, someone's talking about a white girl and a dog. Jacob Pete saying, "I missed the live stream yesterday. That was with Rob Dorr from the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, talking about how they were able to go to court and get the ban on 18 to 21-year-olds from not being able to get a concealed carry license struck down as unconstitutional using Bruin, among other things, including, what it's like to be a lobbyist and, just how you do stuff in that regard. Said, could this be cited to repeal other 21-year age requirements like here in Florida? Certainly, it can. But remember, the biggest thing is Bruin. That's really what this all comes down to. In the judge in that case, and we pointed it out, she's not a fan of this, but she said, the Supreme Court said this is the framework, so I'm using the framework. And she used Bruin. And under Bruin, historically, 18, 19, and 20-year-olds could carry weapons and could carry them concealed. So they're allowed to do it. So it was unconstitutional. So, I mean, that's really the heart of the argument. But yes, if you work with a group down in Florida, you guys certainly can copy and paste and rip up that off and use it where applicable. I'm about to get a package from Uncle Ted. Oh boy, that would be fun. I would totally open that up with enthusiasm. I need to unpin my locals welcome video, but if it doesn't, that's the welcome video. It's got to be at the top. I mean, if I didn't have it there, that would really suck. Jonathan's saying concealed carry for elementary school students. No. A pistol's a lot for a little kid. Give them like a crew-fed weapon, a crew-served weapon. That way they learn teamwork, but also they can handle it better. Dr. Cock McLongerballs, PhD, says, how will the West Special Forces being in Ukraine help overturn Terry versus Ohio? I don't know, but we're going to get into that because that's where we're going to start off with. And it's actually another minute because I'm going to say only 135 people. Kids need mortars. Exactly. Kids need mortars. Tweety saying Uncle Kaczynski equals a TED package. I hope so. Coley says, don't give Zelensky any ideas about putting children on crew-served weapons. He's already doing that. They're abducting, and drafting 15 and 16-year-olds off the street and forcibly conscripting people, which is totally something you do when you're winning a war. Just saying. And there was some sort of... saying, when is someone going to leak classified documents in your Discord? Now, I will say, guys, if you do join my Discord, I did post those documents that have been leaked. So, if you have a security clearance or want a security clearance, be careful. But yeah, we're going to start off tonight with the Ukraine leaker. You guys probably have been known that there have been tons of documents getting leaked that appear to be out of briefing books that have massive levels of intelligence in them, including plans of Ukrainian where air defenses are being placed. The fact the Ukrainian military is running out of surface-to-air weapons, and the projected rates of how much ammunition they're going to be using in these offensives coming up, what the Russians are going to do, what the Ukrainian estimates are, including casualty figures, all kinds of things, including now it appears that there are U.S. ground forces, special operations teams from multiple NATO countries running around Ukraine, which obviously I think we all kind of assumed that was happening. But to see it there, well, that's a bit of a problem, because what happens when one of those guys gets killed? And then, did Biden violate the War Powers Act by doing that? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I'm not going to show the documents on here. Why? Because I do know there are people who watch my show that are in the military and they have a security clearance. And part of that is you can't access unauthorized material. So even if they have a top secret, TS/SCI clearance, they haven't been cleared for this. And even though it's been leaked, it's still classified. And then for those of you who actually may look into the military at some point or into another job where there's a security clearance involved, part of your background check and part of those things are you're going to have to swear, I have never accessed classified material unauthorized. Sometimes you might get a polygraph. Well, you might fail a polygraph because seeing those things can count towards that. For example, when I was in law school when Edward Snowden blew the lid off PRISM and all the other crap that was going on. We spent about 2 weeks on that in my international law class. Our Professor Ben Davis, really great guy, excused the students who were either in the military looking to do JAG or anything like that, or trying to get a job in the federal government, from being there for 2 weeks. Why? Because we were looking at stuff they're not allowed to see, and could it hurt their careers? It was never on the test. But then when that got done, we came back and just talked about how things were going to go from there. So I'm not going to show that stuff solely to help those people. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but I'm not going to do that to somebody, and I don't want to fuck someone over just because. And really, guys, if you want to see them, they're all over the place. It's all over Twitter. You can find them. It's not that hard. And this is who we are, says the future glowies. Yeah. Dr. Remo says, thank you. I would like to keep my job. Of course. And I that's, Ice Cold says, for government IT jobs. Well, for anything. There are private sector jobs where you might need to, depending on the companies you work for SpaceX, you're going to have to get a security clearance, depending on what you're doing for them. Raytheon, any number of the defense contractors, insert whoever. But yeah, if you work for the government in a lot of capabilities, they're going to have to check you out. Isaac Baruch saying, Sean's looking out for his chat feds. Not everybody in chat here is a fed. If you're in the military already, you're kind of stuck there. You can't just quit. Top Golfer says, top secret. This is why we're slaves. Yeah. Although if you guys have seen the classification headers on those, like, that's some serious, like, that dude leaked this. This is some serious stuff where it's like no foreign, people, non-US citizens can look at this. No foreign people, period. Yeah. This is the stuff he leaked is like up there from like the Joint Chiefs briefings. It's primo stuff. M2 says, it is common to have a forced draft even when winning. See World War I. The World War I was far from. I guess we'll do a little history split off here. World War I was far from finished. I mean, it took till night. I mean, it wasn't a done deal till 1918, and it's because the British military ground the Germans down and were willing to burn more men in the fire than the Germans could. And the Germans were facing, starvation issues at home. They had gone through what was called the turnip winter already. So, the war was far from over by the time the U.S. got there. World War II, I mean, yeah, you have to keep drafting people even as you're winning because you are burning through people. You're suffering casualties. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. And, that. Kim was saying something tells me I've seen these I've seen I've seen a ton of them. And yeah, there's some pretty good stuff in there. So, let me see here. Jacob Castro saying this guy's regretting leaving his docs in the garage. Yeah. So we're going to get started on that now. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Where are you guys? Charles Watts says, send me $5.99 in Venmo and I'll give you Primo stuff. Brooks says, this guy killed the Oxide Discord server. Oh, I don't know. Does Oxide still have his... Hold on. I was part of that. I thought I was in his Discord. Maybe I left it. I don't know. Yeah, I left his a while ago. I left his once he went to flight school because there wasn't a whole lot going on. Yeah. Amateur iconoclast is right. By 1945, men missing trigger fingers were being... Yeah, men who were 4F, who were completely unsuitable for the draft, were being drafted. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel by then. But remember, early 1945, we just finished the Battle of the Bulge and burned through a ton of men. So, love the Oxide videos. Yes. Robert Chalk is saying that is where it happened. Well, it happened on the Thug Shaker Central one, but if something happened on Oxide stuff in the meantime, oof, that sucks for him because he just became a pilot. So, what happened? Well, a National Guardsman who was in the Massachusetts Air National Guard was on his Discord server with his buddies and leaked a ton of documents. Now, it's not clear how he accessed all these documents, all of them. All of them. It's not clear. But he has them. And he published them on the Discord server, which you're not supposed to do. And he got caught. Now, when the leaks came out, a lot of sketchy shit happened here. And one of the things I think is very disgusting is the way the media handled this. In particular, the New York Times. It was absolutely horrible. I'm sorry, the Washington Post. And why is this problematic? For one big reason. You see the press operating in such a way that makes you wonder, who are you really? You're the guys who published, Watergate. You talk about the New York Times publishing the Pentagon Papers. Edward Snowden's leaks eventually got published. Stuff from Julian Assange got published. They have published all kinds of things throughout history. And yet, when this happens, they're going to stand up and say, well, really, that's what you guys are going to do here. And the Washington Post saying the most damaging part of the Ukrainian documents is the leak itself. That this is so dangerous. This is so awful. And you can see this even further when you're at the New York Times. And how do you know this is really fucked up? Well, the New York Times, you can access what's going on here, but this is what the New York Times tells you. Isaac Baruch it has for $2. It's so clear. The sneak level is 100. Yes. Thank you, by the way. We'll get to that. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that part soon. So here is the issue. Notice this right here. Notice this part right here. Right here where I'm just circling around. Look at that. How is this breach different? Well, it's different when we do it. It's different, guys. It's totally different. Because we didn't do it. That's why it's different. Now, if you guys remember Chris Cuomo, back when we had the things from Hillary Clinton's campaign being leaked. It's our job to look at those. We can look at them. You can't. But we can look at them. We can tell you what's going on. You can't see this. You can't see this. That is... It's such bullshit. But they do it. And they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep going with it. But now we're here. Let's just look at this. So it's been interesting. They figured out who it was from. Now, here's the part that's really weird. It's some sort of secret intel counterintelligence operation that the FBI is running. The fucking press was there. There were press helicopters circling this guy's house. Like really? Really? You're telling me this was the big deal? This is all going on and, it's some super secret operation and we've got what's going on here? The media was leaked to it. So was it really that big of this is so dangerous? Oh my God. Who told the press? Why do we have to see this guy get frog marched out by some FBI agents? I'll give them credit. They didn't kill anybody today. So yes, thank you for not shooting any women holding babies and for not lighting his house on fire. So you guys are 2 for 2 today. So keep up the good work. Let's try to roll that into a, multiple days in a row thing. But that is why this all reeks of being a sideshow. I'm just saying. I'm like Ed Sheeran. I'm just thinking out loud. But we do know that tomorrow, a 21-year-old air guardsman was leaked. He had leaked a trove of documents that have upended American relations with American allies and exposed weaknesses in the Ukrainian military. He didn't expose weaknesses. He exposed how fucked this whole thing is. And it's literally a waste of money and resources. And we're literally encouraging Zelensky to feed people into the meat grinder. That's sheer insanity. That's the problem here. And in the meantime, what are we doing? We're destroying our own capabilities at home. I mean, we're having to borrow and beg artillery ammunition from around the world. The U.S. dollar is being undermined, that the Saudis are now trading oil in yuan and rupees and rubles. The Russians are selling diesel in record amounts and at record high levels, despite the sanctions that aren't doing fuck all. So yes, we're getting called out. Our economic powers seem to be impotent and limp. SWIFT has been undermined by the CIPS system. There's a Shanghai cooperative now, which is burgeoning. The entire world is finding out there's literally a third way, and we're not it. And instead of us waving around our economic power like a gnarled cock, We could have been doing it in a better, wholesome way, like we've been doing probably for the past 50 years. But no, we have to do it like we've done lately, just heavy-handed, because we thought we were the only game in town. Well, we're finding out we're not. So thank you, Yuki Bros. You know, that salami ukulele, that's really going to help us when the dollar gets crushed. Thank you. But anyways, we getting back to the guy here. His name is Jack Teixeira. He's a member of the intelligence unit of the Massachusetts Air Guard. He was part of a online Discord group, and notice they're like, "What is Discord? You have to learn what is Discord. What's going on?" The meme group at the center of the uproar. Thug Shaker Central. It doesn't matter what the name is. It's Discord. It's full of dumb shit and autism. That's what Discord does. That's all Discord does. 20 to 30 people, mostly young men who came to over shared love of guns, racist online memes, and video games. Well, racist online memes, I mean, there's allegations he's a white supremacist or a Nazi. It's like, sounds like he'd be at home in the Ukrainian military. Go join the Azov battalion, bro, dog. I mean, really. I mean, that would be the perfect place for him. I'm sorry, trying to catch up here. Making sure you guys are worried about the fucking dogs, man. Come on. So, yes, and when Merrick Garland tells you what happened, I'm sure it's got to be true. Merrick Garland said the agency made arrests and was continuing to conduct authorized law enforcement activity. I'm sure, because they would never lie. At the residence, and where he was accused of illegally sharing this information. And it does sound like he basically had these things printed out and took pictures on his kitchen table, which I don't know how the fuck you get all that shit out of a skiff, but good on you. So months ago, one of the users uploaded hundreds of pages of intelligence briefings in the chat, basically trying to educate guys what's going on during the isolation of the pandemic and on the importance of staying abreast of world events. Okay. But yes, the New York Times put together a trail of digital evidence compiled by themselves in Bellingcat, a British intelligence cutout. You guys ever heard of Bellingcat and Oryx? They were tracking all the blown up tanks in Ukraine. They are British intelligence cutouts. They have been verified as working with the Foreign Office. Which, should get your red flags up. They go through this and they talk about everything that was going on. What is Discord? The app where the leaked documents were found. It's an 8-year-old social media messaging platform. Yes, it is. Introduced in 2015. I know, because I got on in 2016. An OG. The weirdest part about this is these documents were kicking around on this Discord page for quite a while. Then all of a sudden, somebody else blew them out to the rest of the world. I don't get that, but hey. Yeah. And they talk about, a little more. He went into the military. Okay. The FBI converged on a quiet street in Massachusetts before the arrest. With all the press around. Once again, how did the media know about this? It wasn't that quiet if the FBI told them what was up. I mean, once again, this is about grabbing scalps and wanting to show off to the world. And then we're not going to get into what the Air National Guard's mission is. A bunch of this stuff, we're not too worried about. It's what happens after that. And it's the paper coming into... Yes, Eliza Krogan, you're right. It was there for months. Yes, Swami's right. The hacker known as Discord. Yes, the hacker known as 4chan. Hunch Sturdy Roofers being a new member. Thank you. I appreciate the support, man. I always do. Thank you so much. Pray for this child. Yeah, he's gonna need some prayers because I tried looking it up on Pacer. He doesn't have anything up there yet I could find, and oh boy, they are gonna lower the boom on that guy. I could say that much. And then I'm getting really quick to Isaac. Isaac Brooks, wholesome Gabagool art for $2. Thank you. Says braver man at 21 than I'll ever be. You know, NEO7's in the chat. Yeah, F's in the chat. This guy did some. Yeah, he's brave. You know, I mean, kind of like Napoleon talked about Marshal Ney, the bravest of the brave. Swami says they doxed a dude before there's really any proof. Yeah, but that's where some of the stuff doesn't add up. Some of this doesn't add up. How did they get this right? And how is this guy just some schmuck? You know, does the U.S. military's intelligence and security suck that bad? They just let random yahoos have it. And if they do, then okay, well, that's on you guys. Really, if we're gonna be honest about stuff. I mean, like let's be honest. Stabbing McStabwood says, "Finger fucks that like button. It's free." Yes, please do. I'd appreciate it. Swami again saying, "Guys, this is different because Ukraine is our greatest ally, and this really hurts us. Trust us, bro." Yes, I'm not going to trust the intelligence community that, hey, this really hurt us. Says who? Oh, us. How? Well, we can't tell you. Okay, fair enough. Freedom Thinker says New York Times. Yes, the same paper that covered up the Holodomor. Yes, the Ukrainian terror famine was ignored and downplayed by Walter Duranty, one of the famous journalists for the New York Times. He won a Pulitzer Prize for going over to Russia and gargling Stalin's ball sack in the 30s. No, they denounced him, but they never gave up the Pulitzer Prize. That's a shame saying 100% would smash. That guy, well, I mean, yeah, he's a Chad. He's the Chaddest of the Chads. Senior Spielbergo says Discord is also known as a CIA honeypot. Yeah, well, then mine's not too good if that's what's going on. The hubris, though, of the New York Times here, this here, I just, how the leaked documents are different from past breaches. It's the freshness of them. Okay. So what? Some appear to be barely 40 days old. Okay. But are they showing that there's problems? Yes. Are they showing we're just funneling money away? Yes. Are there concerns that, like we're finding out now that there might have been $400 million embezzled by high-level people in the Ukrainian government? Yes. That there are special forces groups in Ukraine right now. Yes, that might violate the War Powers Act. Yes. That we're finding out this war is not likely to be winnable because if you watch the order of battle for all those brigades being assembled, almost all of them are for foreign vehicles, and they aren't there yet. So this vaunted spring offensive was never going to happen. Then we also find out the attrition rates of some of the vehicles the Ukrainians are suffering. It's just abysmal. No, you're right. We don't have a right to know any of that. Well, the Russians might find out. I don't care. If they're a bunch of broke dick orcs, who cares what they do? They're a bunch of broke dick orcs using T-34s and we're laughing at them because they can't do shit right. Then who really cares? But I'm not going to, if you guys want to read it, go ahead and read it. But fuck you, New York Times, for trying to claim, oh, well, this is different. It's different because you didn't get the scoop. That's the only reason why it's different. So, Tweety saying they staged with local law enforcement, which is easily heard over the scanners. Sure, there was some of that, but they were also tipped off. I mean, let's not bullshit ourselves. Kind of like the whole Roger Stone thing. They were there at 6 a.m. because the FBI told them to be there. Up in CT says treason and death penalty. I don't really think so here. Bradley Smith is saying, I bet they will use this to push more state censorship and control of the internet. That's actually something I think that's very important here. And I wanted to bring this up because somebody else kind of already hit on that. And I would say it's a very wise man. And I'm not sure why this didn't show up. But if you guys watch the Future Conflicts show here on YouTube, you'll know him as Tactical Wisdom or Joe Dolio. And he brought up the idea that this was done on Discord to help the Restrict Act. And I think he's 100% correct. You know, that's what a good way to show that the government needs to clamp down on these places, because people can just dump intelligence on there and harm the military-industrial complex. It's something to think about. It is something to think about. You know, especially when you factor in Bellingcat, yeah, this reeks of being some sort of op. And Harris, you're right. It reeks of being some sort of, you know, glowy op right now. So something the fuck is up there. Okay, there's the rates of incest in the world. Okay, yeah, I've seen that map. Sorry, it's over on locals. Gamer365 sent a $5 tip over on locals. Thank you, by the way. Says white chicks out here being a bunch of naughty bitches. Yes. And then Brimstone for $5 says have not a Budweiser family of beer on me. Yes, which is really hard to do because, you know, Natty's always good, Michelob's good, Busch, they're all good. So yes. Jim is saying how much you want to bet they use the media reporting as probable cause in the affidavit for the warrant. Oh, probably. Charles Watson, thanks for the image of Stalin teabagging Walter Duranty. Well, hey, is what it is, man. Cedar Rose, for $5.50 Canadian loonies, or that'd be like 2 1/4 toonies. Or the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dr. Mimo says, but my Russian shovels. Yes, the Russians using the Wagner running through Bakhmut with their Spurkas, just chopping away at the Ukrainians. Yes, Joe Dolio is correct. And I think he's why not the treason and death penalty? Well, was it treason? Was he doing it to aid a foreign combatant? No, and we're not at war, so who did he like? You can't really commit treason if we're not at war with somebody. So why should he get the death penalty? I mean, there are a lot of people in this administration that are committing treason, just not this guy. I mean, like, you know, like if we can do this here. Nope, it won't let me zoom in. Damn it. You know. Yeah, there we go. Let's be real. There are a lot of traitors, but they ain't hanging out in Massachusetts. They're all hanging out in D.C. right now. Just saying. Dee saying he should just trans himself and get a pardon. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Yes, Big Chungus. Will someone please think in the military-industrial complex? You know, General Milley needs to get his job at Raytheon. Please think of him. So that is where it goes. We're going to have to put a pin in this, and I guess we'll just see what happens to the enterprising young airman going forward. Also, just wanted to say hi to everybody in the Rumble ghetto. Roland Martin says this is the ghetto. Yes. I'll take a cider or a Smirnoff, apparently from Bulldozer. Oh. So. Yes, I think this is right, Chuck Bob. Hold on, we're gonna have to switch to this one because this is a correct. I think this is the correct thing here. Yes. Oh, look, the government caused another problem. Guess we need some more government. Yes, that is a Kimo Nice says I should. Oh, I am not shotgunning Steel Reserve. Oh. I'm not. No. I can drink Steel Reserve, but not like that. So, all right, guys, we're going to move on to some other things that are out there. And this is from last week. And this is just, it is, white girls really do apparently bang dogs. Now, there is the song, and I guess that song really is turning into an eternal truth. Along with Epstein didn't kill himself, can't trust Sally Yates, but white girl, I guess there's the third eternal truth. Robert Barnes got to learn this one. White girls do fuck dogs. And how do we know that this white girl? You know, people are like, huh, wasn't this always true? Okay, well. All right. So yes, her name is Denise Frazier, and down in Mississippi, yes, woman who had sex with dogs filmed outside of a church. She was arrested after having sex with a dog and putting it on social media. Yes. So she did it and she filmed herself. This was down in Mississippi, Myrick, Mississippi. She's been charged with unnatural intercourse and aggravated cruelty to an animal. She faced up to 10 years if convicted, which, woof, I can say. You know, the police say they were alerted to this clip involving a woman and the dog by a concerned resident who spotted it on social media. I'm sure that guy just happened to be browsing and accidentally came upon the dog and her. Yes, I'm sure he. I'm sure he's just like, hey, look, guys, look, I was just minding my own business on the internet, and I happened to come across this chick and a dog. Like, I wasn't intentionally there, and it's not like I rewound it a couple of times, and maybe I saw it like 5 hours ago, and maybe I downloaded it. But no, I didn't do any of that. I just found it, and I was horrified. Sure. I mean, if that's what you got to tell yourself, buddy, that's what you got to tell yourself. Eric is right. Yeah, Eric's like, yeah, dog fucking isn't in that guy's search history. Young Barbarism says the journo trying to type the pup into Google is going to be having some fun. Yes. Oh yeah. Because I'm Batman says I downloaded it to preserve the evidence, purely for the sake of the community. Zaven says this dude was looking up tips for breeding his livestock. Oh. Stabby says, Mom, my pants fell down. So yes, getting back to her story. She claims that she was threatened to do it and police pay her for her videos, which, I mean, if you threaten to do it or are you getting paid for it? It kind of doesn't make much sense. One or the other. Yes, and this is her, the look of like, wait, I can't do this? The cheetah print pants are a nice touch given her bestiality issues. The police say they haven't uncovered any coercion. And one of the videos was taken in a Jeep in a church parking lot, which, I mean, why not go for the high score if you're going to do this, yes, go for the high score. And she definitely went for the high score. I mean, yeah, you should get style points for doing this in a Baptist church parking lot. The only thing would have been better if it had been during services on a Sunday morning. But hey, I'll give her credit. This is her and the dog. Look at him. He's got the Sigma look like. Oh. There were 3 separate dogs in the video, and they're all getting safe, and they're all getting medical help. Which, really, in reality, for the puppers, I hope they are getting treated and taken care of. Oh, screen share boomer. Fuck you guys. Okay, sorry. Oh God. Yes. Here is Denise and one of her pooches. But look at that ear up. He's like, "Sup, kings? I know what I'm doing. What are you doing?" She's lucky it's Pitbull didn't bite her face off. That would have been hilarious as it starts humping her, and then it just attacks her. But oh well, she went for the high score, and she got too close to the sun. But those dogs, I hope they're taken care of. Hope they get some good forever homes. Third rail's like, naughty girl. Eric is saying she got baldoed. Women saying I don't want to see it. Well, there's no, I'm not going to show bestiality on here because, I don't want to lose my channel. Come on now. Let's be real. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't show it to you guys, but you guys seen it now. Actual Boomer says blue hair. Who would have thunk? Yes. Yes. Show the video, wuss. Yeah. Alexandra Loves Goats says she won't get 10 years. Yeah, she won't. She could get up to 10 years, but she'll, more than likely some local things and probably some mental help because, yeah, there's some issues going on there. Isaac Brooks saying the odds it's got over on A&H. Maybe. Don't know. Yes, Big Chungus is right. The jurors are going to have to watch that. And that is a very brilliant segue into the next story tonight. Thank you, Big Chungus. Daniel Perry. If you guys remember him, he is the person who got into a shooting back in 2020 in Texas, in Austin, when he drove his car and ran into some Black Lives Matter protesters, including Garrett Foster, who had his AK because he was going to show people that there wasn't no effing around. And, well, Daniel Perry showed that he wasn't fucking around either and, put a couple of holes in Garrett. Well, Daniel got charged with murder and was put on trial in Austin. Now, there were a couple things I think that hurt him. Ultimately, yes, he did talk to the police by himself. He gave multiple statements, and the statements didn't match up. They used his internet history where he talked about, I guess I might have to kill somebody, which that doesn't help. But really, when you watch it, I think the jury was well within their rights to not to convict him. there apparently other people were in that crowd in their cars who were not getting attacked. And it doesn't appear that he was getting attacked the entire time, even when he ran into initially turned the corner and ended up being in the middle of the crowd. On an appeal, for insufficient evidence or manifest weight, there's no court that would overturn that. So this just goes back to the idea, if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. If you get tried by 12, they might say, you're going to prison for the rest of your life, asshole. That's a risk. And are you willing to deal with that? Maybe, maybe not. Well, then you should be really evaluating things, because it's not going to be much solace for Daniel Perry to be sitting in jail right now thinking, well, at least I'm glad I was tried by 12. He's probably sitting there thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm in prison. So, talk about it all you want. I'm sure it sucks for him right now. Now, yes, the governor of Texas has said that he would give him a pardon if possible. It is weird in Texas that the governor does not have that power alone, but is only through the pardon board, the Board of Pardons and Clemency. They have to approve it, and then the governor can decide to do it, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. He shouldn't, I pardon him. Texas, you need to get right with the rest of the country. That just, you got a neutered governor power. Governor's powers are pretty neutered, it sounds like. So he may get a pardon, which you can't ever count on. But there have been new revelations of problems. And the jury, and it's coming down to that. And what do we know? Well, we know there's a problem in the juries. And how do we know that? Well, 2 jurors claim that despite the politically charged nature, nobody was pressured to reach a verdict. Okay. And yes, it went 17 hours. So it was a very long deliberation. Some of you may think, is that really long? Yeah, that's like 2 straight 8-hour days of deliberating plus a little extra. So yeah, that's quite a bit. So it was going back and forth. For 17 hours, they deliberated over the shooting that occurred back in 2020. And yes, it took a long time for it to happen. One of the jurors said it was just very stressful, one of the alternate jurors. But there's an issue now, and it's governing what happened. And what do we know? That one of the jurors improperly ran information not presented during the trial. Okay, well, what exactly happened? Well, one of the jurors went home and did their own research regarding some aspects of the law, and particularly self-defense law, and how burdens are supposed to be met. They came in and presented that work to the entire jury. This is why we don't, as an attorney, you are not supposed to go out and do your own research. Number one, you don't know what you're talking about. And number two, if you get it wrong, you've completely fucked everything up. All the parties have agreed what's being presented to you, and you're to rule upon what's been given to you. But now some juror, I'm smart enough to know what's going on. Are you really? Are you really smart enough to know what's going on? Because it doesn't fucking sound like it. So, yeah, it is pathetic. It's really pathetic. Now, there are some things that have gone on. Like, he hasn't been sentenced this week, and it has been put off for right now. Okay, well, we'll find out. So, the defense motion revolves around the self-defense issue. According to an affidavit, one of the jurors reported that a juror printed out portions of the Texas Penal Code. So they printed out state law and were bringing it and saying, guys, this is what we need to focus on. No, you don't. And if you're ever on a jury, I don't care what it's for. A speeding ticket, medical malpractice. If you come in there and a juror says, I did my own homework, immediately go run out the door screaming to the court. That needs to be reported immediately because you're screwing everything up. And apparently that juror then incorrectly interpreted the law in their discussions. That's great. That's great. So whoever did that, and if this really did happen that way to that juror, bravo. You Dunning-Kruger son of a bitch. You're not supposed to do that. There's a reason why. On this part here, though, I think this is a little weak sauce. The affidavit said an alternate juror had improperly made noises, snorting, huffing, and gasping, which I'm sure meant like when somebody make an argument like, or just acting like an ass. That's not misconduct. That's just one of them being a dick. This here, though, is a massive problem, especially if it really happened the way they said. Because now you're going to have to, none of those jurors are going to admit, yeah, I got persuaded now that they learned this guy's wrong. None of them are going to say, yeah, I got persuaded by a guy who broke the rules. Because remember, now you're admitting you broke the rules by not reporting it. So that's a big problem. These jurors didn't go tell the court, hey, this happened. They should have said it immediately. Now, this probably would have caused a mistrial, but it should have happened immediately when they realized what was going on. So I think shame on all these jurors. Shame on them all. I mean, thankfully, one of them spoke up afterwards, but still, shame on them. Now, is this going to help him ultimately? I don't know. Remember, at the end of the day, who knows? Who knows? But you can't count on it. You cannot count on it. Eliza's saying juries nowadays are so biased they need civics classes. Yeah. Waffles for the People says there's a good chance he would be dead otherwise. Maybe, but the jury didn't believe so. And I think they were well within their rights because it wasn't the strongest case for him. Remember, every time you strap up and carry a gun out the door, you need to resign yourself to the fact that I may use this and I may think I'm justified and the rest of the world may disagree with me. And I may go sit in a jail cell for the rest of my life. And this may be the very last day I walk out the door as a free man. Now, that may seem dramatic, but that's really like if you get into a shooting later and the cops think you're the bad guy, and then you get held on $1 million bond, you can't post bond, and you sit, and then you have your trial and you get convicted and you lose your appeal. That's how, and you get a life sentence. You need to be prepared that could happen to you. Now, you should do everything in your power to avoid that happening by getting training, not only tactical training, but training on the law and training on de-escalation and how to avoid problems and, practicing all those things, avoidance, deterrence, and de-escalation in your daily life. But it can still happen. Remember, you have to think about that and you have to be honest with yourself. Eliza's saying the Zachariah Anderson trial. So here's... is it still going? I know it was over, but I thought it was done because he got kind of boned on that. Alpha Fox saying, what's our 2 favorite words in this sort of situation regarding appellate issues? Yes. Harmless error. Yes. So courts, just be careful. Zero Fuck says, he went home and got hard. Andrea says, put that juror in contempt. I think very least that juror should be held in contempt. Elliot Johnson said he's not getting a new trial from that judge. Yeah, I mean, probably not, but we'll see. We will see. Porcelain Thunder says the penal code is Texas gay. No, they're not. I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, though. A double done says reverse jury nullification. No, this is not even that. There's no such thing as reverse jury nullification. That's just straight up tyranny. There is no reverse jury nullification. There's jury nullification and then tyrannical bullshit. So, yes, Necromancer's right. Ignore what the lawyers said, guys. Their fancy book learning. I read this online. Oh. Harbor Walber says, don't point a gun at someone, don't get ventilated. Well, remember, if you listen to Perry's, and it's something I'm working on putting together, in his interview with the police, he said, I shot him before he could aim it at me because I thought he was going to hurt me. So, he had it at the low ready, but Perry's saying I reacted before he could bring the gun around. So, that's not helping yourself there. Stabby saying, if someone walks into my car masked with a rifle, I'm probably not going to wait to see if they just want to say hello. Well, remember, carrying a weapon is not criminal intent alone. And he was in a crowd of people who were marching. So it's not like you can't say, like, oh my God, I didn't know what was going on. You have to have some level of like understanding of things. Waffles saying, would you rather be in jail or dead? Sure. But everybody who says that, have you really thought about what that actually entails? Being tried by 12 or carried by 6. That's you could say it, it sounds cute and cheeky, but there's some real consequences behind those. So, have I discussed the Akron 8 cops? No, but I'm going to be trying to talk about the half of the East Cleveland Police Department who got indicted. So I don't know about the Akron cops yet. I'll have to look into that. Oh, yes, for Jalen Walker, yes, that's still... I don't think there's anything we can really talk about till the grand jury gets involved. Yes, Porcelain Thunder is asking, should we talk to the police? I'm confused. Do not talk to the cops, and do not talk to the cops. And when we watch and when we review Daniel Perry's interview, you'll notice there's an empty chair there that could have been populated by somebody like me. Who would have told him, shut up. But he didn't. This is who we are, says the Zulus were chanting it up. Eric is saying, so basically it boils down to if the jury sees it as self-defense and fuck the law surrounding it. No, I think a jury could say they don't think he was really in fear of his life. I think it's without learning about this, I think the jury was well within the right to say, sorry, we don't buy it and think it's self-defense. That's just the nature of it. When you are on that spectrum of like really good shoots and really bad shoots, and you're in that gray area, if you get to like all the way to like one side or all the way to the gray area over here, you can't get mad if a jury says, sorry, we're not buying that. That's why you have to stay out of the gray area. You have to be in the black or white. If you're in the gray area, that's the danger. So, Two Scoop says, I know all about being on the spectrum. How did you know? Oh. Hunch a Dirty Roofer for $5. Thank you, by the way, for the support. It says, all I'm hearing in my head is the Red Robin jingle, but instead it's Red Rocket. Thank you. Oh. Suomi says, leave no witnesses, clearly, is the lesson. There were a lot of people, and I don't think he had enough ammunition to leave no witnesses. So. Because then Batman says, why were there alternate jurors allowed in the room with the actual 12? I don't know, but I think this judge was trying to avoid having any issue arise where they needed to restart deliberations, because if that juror wasn't there and one of the jurors had to leave or died, well, they'd have to restart deliberations because that juror was never involved. Or there might be a motion for a mistrial. But having the alternate sit there, well, They can't participate, but they can be ready if they ever do. So, something to think about. Something to think about. Where is something to think about? Moving on. This is video. I know I covered this back when it happened, and this is from about a month ago, but I do think it's an interesting update. Kane Velasquez, former UFC champ, his trial is been set in the shooting. So, the judge has rescheduled for May 24th. He pleaded not guilty to attempted murder. And why did he get charged with attempted murder? Well, he tried to target a man, Harry Goulart, who was accused of molesting. And at the time, it was somebody in his family, but now it appears Cain's 4-year-old son, which, yeah, I'm sure, we'll find out if that's true or not, because remember, that could be wrong. And this guy here is 100% innocent until he's proven guilty. So Cain went down and tried to hunt him down and ambush him in a car and started shooting at the car, although he did not hit the guy he intended, but hit another man. Okay, well, good job, Cain. Goulart has been charged with a couple of lewd acts with a minor and has his own trial starting April 12th. So it's ongoing right now. It just started yesterday. If found guilty, Velazquez could face a minimum of 20 years of life in prison. Up to life in prison, which, he's going to have a tough case because he shot the wrong guy. Even if he had shot the right guy, I'm not so sure that's going to go too well with him. Jim is saying he deserves a medal. He shot the wrong guy. So I don't think you're going to get the medal there. Dee Dee says the father who was helping the pedo escape. I don't think he was helping him escape. From what I understand, he was reporting to court. He had been summoned to show up to court for a hearing, and he got attacked. So I think Cain's going to have a tough time there. Patty's saying he shot the wrong guy. Is the guy dead or seriously hurt? No, the guy survived. I mean, still getting shot is serious. I would consider getting shot generally as being seriously hurt. So, yeah. Even if the guy, and you guys, some of you are saying, oh, he was helping him escape. Let's say that's hypothetically true. If you really think that's going to happen there, get the police involved. I mean, taking justice in your own hands, like, whew, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Gary Plauché style justice. That's you better be 100% fucking right, because let's say it turns out this guy gets acquitted. This guy's not guilty, and you shot at a guy who's not guilty. I mean, now what does that make you look like? Makes you look like a big old piece of shit. Just saying. So you got to be, absent Cain catching the guy in the act, it's going to be tough for him. And yeah, somebody's like, well, what are his defenses going to be? I don't know, and I don't think it's going to be good for him. So I think he's going to have to take a hit here. I mean, maybe he's going to claim like temporary insanity. I don't know if California allows that. Heat of the moment. I mean, who knows what he's going to try to argue, but it's probably not going to go well for him. And I have the feeling, unless this guy does get convicted, that will help him out a lot. But Cain's going to have to be prepared to go do some time, I think. And, kind of sucks. Sucks for him, but hey. Yeah, Malcolm saying, what's his defense going to be? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Lawn Art Clips. I haven't seen you around in a while. Thanks for your talk to cops rant. After stuff happened, I had to be put on a list not to get swatted. Private all my other videos with cop and police in the title. Oh, well, yeah, you're welcome for the video. Yeah, I've had to do that myself lately. Make sure the police, they have an alert notice if they have to roll out here that, hey, this guy's warned us there might be some swatting issues, which we're going to get to actually in a second. Walter Malone says yes, he gets the bronze medal. If it's true that he did stuff to his kid, then the sentence should be they both go in the octagon and stream it on Rumble. Yes. And then Heretic saying, had they just released the pedo with no bail? Yes, but remember, part of the main reason for bail is to ensure you show back up, and there's no reason to say the guy wouldn't show back up. He was given a restriction, probably don't be around kids. Okay. Everybody's entitled to, bail. So I don't care who you are. Peter Watkins says normalize self-defense. Heretic saying, yeah, he wasn't just an MMA guy. He was one of the best heavyweights ever. Yeah. Yep, he was. He was very good. Very good. Mark Garagos is his attorney. Yep, and, I don't know how good Mark Garagos is going to be, so let's see. I mean, Mark Garagos doesn't have the best record. Eric is saying his defense will be CT. The chronic traumatic encephalitis induced insanity. I mean, that could be an issue for him. He's going to have to show that he has it, and it's, yeah, I guess. Maybe. Jim is saying the state will want to deal. No, I don't think the state might necessarily make a good deal here. I mean, you get to convict Kane Velasquez. That's a pretty good scalp to have on your wall. I mean, easily. Did I get swatted? No, not yet. I've been preparing and planning ahead. So that is an update for Cain. I just thought, because I know I covered it way back. Now for the more funnier parts of tonight, Letitia Stauch, I think is how you pronounce it. Her trial is still ongoing, and she got caught trying to buy a fake polygraph result to show the police, look, I have a polygraph that says I didn't do it. Now, the ironic part is, that's different than a real polygraph. Well, all polygraphs are bullshit. I mean, it's all fucking voodoo. It's just squiggly lines, and somebody gets to look at them and say, yeah, that's indicative of telling the truth. That's indicative of deception. And that's it. So, it's Stauch, like couch. Okay. Yeah. But the FBI had a wiretap going as she called this company, which is literally called fakepolygraphs.com. And you'll hear it here. I just think it's hilarious what she does, and it's hilarious how they recount it. It's just too good. It's just too good, you guys. And it's only like 2 minutes long, so that's the neat part here.
And how can I help?
Yes, I didn't get any confirmation about my test I paid for.
And so just for reference sake, before we get too deep into the phone call, sounds like there's two voices.
That's correct.
Do you recognize one of the voices?
I do.
Is it the female voice?
Yes.
And whose voice is that?
That's the defendant's voice.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Angela.
Okay, can I have your name, please? I can check if we've got the order here.
Yes. Keisha, last name is Stauch, Stagch.
Okay, give me one moment, please. Let me have a little look. Okay, yeah, perfect. I can see that we've received that, and we have actually sent the test. Have you not received that as yet?
Have what now?
We have already sent the results to your email account.
I don't have them. Mm-mm.
Okay.
So yes, you get the fake polygraph results sent to you, and yes, they're not here based in America, but they do exist.
Okay, let me try resending that, and if you don't receive it, give us a call back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, now. Bye-bye.
So Special Agent Cohen, the phone number that, at the very beginning, let me back up. There, you can hear ringing. Does that indicate that this is a phone call that was initiated by the defendant to a particular place?
That's correct.
Were you able to investigate and determine who it was that she was calling?
I was.
What was the phone number that she was calling?
Objection, foundation. Mr. Allen.
I can lay some foundation, Judge.
Okay.
When a wiretap is obtained, does it record both the outgoing and receiving phone numbers?
As part of the overall wiretap in this investigation, we also installed something called a pen register trap and trace device.
Now, guys, if you hear the term pen register, that used to be like a little old school thing called a pen register that would like it print out and write out what was being done. They're not actual pen registers anymore. They just call them that.
Particular device will record both the outgoing or incoming phone number from the subject telephone.
And so does that mean that the receiving phone, the person that is being dialed or a place that the originator is dialing would be caught in this trap and trace?
That's correct. It's identified as either an outgoing or incoming phone call, and we have the telephone numbers on both ends of that conversation.
And then were you able to look up that particular phone number that was dialed for this call and see it being associated with a particular web page?
Yes, I was.
What web page was that?
Fakepolygraph.com.
Okay. And is that what all of these?
Yes, fakepolygraph.com, which is a real website, guys. 100% a real website. Yes, a couple of you guys have brought up, how if she was smart. Yes, check your spam folder. Yes, it was probably there. It was probably in her spam folder. You never know. She just need to look harder. But fakepolygraph.com does exist. Fake polygraph, create your own truth. You can get the standard order, or you can get a bespoke polygraph test. Get a fully verifiable fake polygraph certificate. You choose the questions, locations, and results, and we send you a full verified report within 1 business hour. Oh. So, how does this work? Well, you provide all the questions and the information. A local polygraph company will email you the examination results. So and there are local companies, people who do this for polygraphs, not just the police that do them. And if your partner calls the authentic company, they'll be asked for your name, date of birth, and ID. And the real company will claim and confirm they verified that these results are real. We guarantee there's no link between the fake and the real company unless the feds are listening. Oh yeah. Yes, but this is 100% real. This is 100% real. Hey y'all, says lol. Yes. Christy Reed says they refuse to give her the results. Yep. Yes, it's bad customer service. Yes. Yes, Claude Asher's right. You could also be a Scottish laird. And a lord, did you know if you own land in Scotland, even 1 postage stamp size, you are technically a lord. Who are they targeting this to? I think people are trying to convince their spouse they didn't cheat, mainly. Eric Fulm says, well, the site is real. The polygraphs are not. Well, these polygraphs are as real as the real polygraphs. Let's be real. Oh, sorry, guys. We got to get through a couple of comments here I missed earlier we needed to talk about. Jacob Castro is saying, real quick, going back to the white girl and the dogs, the Enumclaw guys, yes, fuck horses, yes. Pepsi Man says, free my nigga Cain, yes. Harbor Walrus says they should have used the polygraph from The Wire, yes. Now, the funny thing is on The Wire, there's actually a court case where they did this to a guy. They hooked him up to a printer machine, a copier, and they hit the copy button, and they had basically thick wires, and they taped him to a colander, and they stuck it on his head. And the guy was so dumb he thought this was a polygraph, and it spit out, because it was on the copy screen, a piece of paper saying he's lying. They'd pull it out, and they'd hit the button, and it would go spit out a piece of paper saying he's lying, and they got the guy to give a confession. And that was considered legal. So, Malcolm saying, whatever circumstance would these be useful? When you're dealing with like simple things, that would never work in real life, because if you're trying to convince somebody that you've passed a polygraph, for example, if I was representing someone and we thought that a polygraph would be useful to get done privately, obviously we're not telling anybody that it exists unless we get that information. And it turns out, yes, they're being truthful. We can go in and say, look, yeah, this kid's saying Uncle Bob diddled her, but he passed a polygraph from a reputable guy who says, I don't think so. Otherwise, no, polygraphs don't really have any use. Now, sometimes there are stipulations that you'll submit to a polygraph to prove to prove that if you indicate truthfulness, that the case will get dropped. But the other edge of that is, if you indicate deception, they can use it against you in court. So, Justice Smith saying fake polygraph, that's a redundant phrase. Fair enough. Also on Rumble, I did not see this earlier. There was a Rumble rant from TX47 who's saying, yes, the Texas legislature and the governor have much less authority than others. Almost anything has to be voted to an amendment. But first, the governor was drunk by noon daily. Oh, yeah. Sporkio is saying fakepolygraph.net is the real one. Oh my God! If I Google this, is it gonna turn into something bad? All right, we're gonna pause while I check that out. Oh, Sporkio saying that's a joke. Oh God, I hate getting trolled by my own people. Damn it. Okay. Ninja Bread Man said, would you accept a sponsorship from fake polygraphs? 100% I would. No, I'm serious. If you guys can contact them and know what's going on, let me I'll accept a sponsorship from them. Hell yeah. That'd be hilarious. That would be very hilarious. Mucho hilarioso, as my people would say. So, yes, if you guys could hook me up with them, I will so do that. Unhung Hero, I didn't see this earlier. I apologize, for $2. Thank you, by the way, says, I'm going to come. Don't come. Do not come. Carmenette says, wait, are you Mexican, Sean? No, I'm not. No. My people chase the great spirit and the great buffalo across the sky for many moons. And I'm joking, they didn't do that either. Well, maybe one of them did. My family more likely exterminated them, but out of Kentucky, at least. Yes. Eliza's like, I didn't know you spoke Spanish. Yes, I am. I am multilingual. Yes. That's about the extent of I know other Spanish from dealing with clients to an extent, but yeah, a little bit of French. One of the big things in French is if you're trying to find the train station, you don't make sure you say it's like it's la gare, not la guerre. If you're asking where the war is, that's not, you make sure you don't ask where the war is instead of the train station. So, all right. Where are we at now with okay, sorry guys. We had so much stuff tonight and trying to get through the list here. Okay, yes. The Cash App murders. Very interesting. Kimbo says, when are you going to do a show with the lead attorney? I don't know. Lead attorney is a great guy. I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be a fun time. Haven't really had a chance to talk to him too much. I don't even think I've been on stream with him more than like 2 minutes. But yeah, maybe in the future. Porcelain Thunder says, I can read menus in many languages and ask where the crapper is in several. Hey, that's really the biggest thing. Where can I go poop? Although depending on the country, and you can just just pop a squat. Freedom Thinker 1984 says, do you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? So more important, do you know what they call a Big Mac in France? Yes. They call Le Big Mac. Yes. Would you want a low royale with cheese? What do they call a Whopper? Yeah. What do they call a Whopper in France? Hell if I know. Stabby says, I just want to see you do a collab with Civil Rights Lawyer. Yeah, John Bryan is a busy man. I've reached out to him. So hopefully at some point we get something set up because, yeah, he's pretty cool. Like what he does, like what he talks about. Yes. Avec du fromage. Yes, avec du fromage. Oh my God. The memes. Yes, yeah, we get the last one, then we're going to get moving on. Do you mind if have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down? All right, guys, so we're going to get going. So the founder of Cash App was murdered recently. And, well, we found the suspect. And there was, a lot of people were saying like, haha, it's San Francisco. Got killed by some homeless guy who steals from Walgreens and poops in the street and has heroin needles sticking out of him. Not so much, it sounds like. Not so much. So the Cash App founder, Bob Lee, knew a suspect, the police say, as he was stabbed to death. And what do we know? Well, they arrested a guy, Nima Momeni. Okay, was arrested in connection. He's a 30-year-old guy from nearby in California. All right. And the police didn't say they knew one another, but didn't provide any details. Huh. Well, we can do some research of our own, and you can find out who this guy is. And how can you do that? Well, where the hell is the thing at? If you want to look him up, this is from his LinkedIn. Yes, he was a consultant entrepreneur for an IT company called Expand. They did IT solutions, networking, regulatory compliance, and Yes, in the tech startup fields. Huh. Especially in finance. Makes you wonder what actually happened there. Um, Alexander's saying, what was his motive? Who knows? I mean, this is one of the few times where this is like a Law and Order episode almost. Was this like a lover's thing? I doubt. I mean, this could be some sort of like he ripped me off and stole my programming. He owes me money. This is going to be this. I have a feeling this is actually going to be far more interesting than it's being. There's so much more to this than we're being told. I think this will actually be a really good case to follow about what's going to happen. So, I thought it was very interesting that this, a guy who works in Silicon Valley knifed up a guy he worked with and was familiar with. I'm assuming that's business related, but we'll find out. People have killed each other for money, for far less. So, Demons, right? Oh, you guys are the Chris Boozy jokes. Jeez, no, we're not getting into that. I'll let Nate Brody take care of that. He's mopping up Boozy as we speak. So, is he a dual Israeli citizen? No, he's not Ethan Klein. Is he Paul Pelosi's secret lover? No. No. No, who knows really what's going on there? But I do think it's very interesting to see it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. I mean, there's nothing else. Amateur Iconoclast says, so it's There Will Be Blood, but with nerds. Yes. Dostine says, his name is Sam Hyde. You know what, though? Sam keeps getting away with it, and we don't know how to stop him. We just don't know how to stop this man. I don't know if we ever will. I don't know if we ever will. So I guess the final thing we'll end up on. Well, actually, we got how much time we got left? Oh, we're only an hour and a half. Wow, we're only an hour and a half in. Yes, he got away. Yes, he did get away with it. Eric's like, he's 100% right. Chance, he can't, but he will. He will always get away with it. So, Sam Hyde should have leaked the docs. Yes. Oh. That's a shame, says, I still can't believe the Speaker of the House's husband got rocked in the head with a fucking hammer, literally under the nose of police protection. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Makes your noggin and jogging just a little bit. Jim is saying, maybe he was trying to con the Cash App guy out of money for a startup, and then he killed him when he told him he was a fraud. Certainly. But like I said, that really kind of goes into the whole, that sounds like a Law and Order script. This is going to be crazy. I have a feeling this is going to be very interesting. Barton Bella says, you can't stop the ghost of Kiev. Oh, yeah. Yes. All right. So another, and actually bringing this up since I talked about dealing with swatting, I know Launderd mentioned it. There were multiple colleges today in Texas that dealt with a massive swatting attack all across the state. The police received multiple calls of active shooters and threats that were later determined to be hoaxes. It happened at a couple different colleges. Happened at a community college in Texas at Baylor. There were a couple other ones. And these schools all locked down repeatedly. And yeah, somebody's been hacking and playing with the computers. Maybe it's the hacker known as 4chan. I just thought that was very interesting that there was a, there was the total amount of places that were set up was interesting. Wasn't, somebody wasn't just sitting there calling. That was done, that was done through some hacks, some lead hacks. Harper says he was mad over Cash App sponsoring the Red Bull F1. Yeah, I know. Give that money to Ferrari. They need it. They need to do some more development. Grifty says, what up? Hello, Grifty. Harper Warble says Matthew Hurst out on bail. Yeah. Jim is saying the last time there was a swatting in Waco, it didn't end well. Oh, boy. Yes. Justin Smith says it was the hacks are known as Nomominous. Yeah. And then, I guess the last one, and this just, you can file this in the, yeah. Cedar Rose is right. Someone wasn't prepared for an exam and needed an extra day or two. Honestly, I was surprised when I was a kid. We never had bomb threats at school. Now I think about it, especially when I was in high school. We never had a day of bomb threats. I remember in high school, it was probably a couple, like 2-3 months after September 11th. One of the ceiling tiles in I think it was a girl's bathroom, was falling apart because it was just absolute garbage, but left all this white powder as it was like flaking away. And somebody panicked and thought it was like anthrax, because that was in the middle of the anthrax scare. So they locked the school down, which I thought was really weird because I've been reading about anthrax. It's like, wait, if it really is this dangerous thing, it's going to kill us. Why are we stuck in the building with it? But that was like the closest we ever came to dealing with something like that. So it could be. I never had to deal with that as a kid growing up. The worst was somebody epoxied all the locks on the school. Like they epoxied all the locks on all the external doors, all of them. And school got canceled, but that's about it. Zero Fuck saying you didn't have them because I never did my job. I wasn't this edgy as a little at the young Sean, going back, 20 years to 17-year-old Sean. No, I was not this edgy. I was not an edgy boy. Big Chunk is saying someone at my school sprayed mace into an AC intake. That's pretty good. Oh, that is pretty good. Aiden was saying, why would the FBI anthrax your school? I don't know. Maybe they realized who I was going to be and they had already seen the future. Maybe. So, the last thing we're going to talk about really just gets into the creepy category. The Dalai Lama. I think he just kind of Me Too'd himself. And you think of all the people who could get into a sexually based controversy or get Me Too'd or just seen as a creepy person, the Dalai Lama. I mean, but this ain't good. This ain't very good at all. This is really bad, guys. So the Dalai Lama apologizes for asking a young boy to suck his tongue. Yes. That's the Dalai Lama. If you're not familiar with what he looks like, But yes, he is a Buddhist priest. He's an 87-year-old priest. You know, just oh my god, it's oh my god, it's yes, he is the head of the you know the Buddhist in Tibet, and he's their spiritual leader, and he's considered like some iteration of Buddha at this point, and that he's been divinely chosen. But oh my god, he kissed a young boy in the lips and asked him to suck his tongue. Oh, that's just but they claim like, oh, he teases people and he meets them in an innocent, playful way, even in public and before the cameras, his PR person said. I mean, I think if I ever had the chance to meet the Dalai Lama, I'd be like, that's a pretty big honor, and I'd be honored at it. But if he came into me and be like, hey, bro, and he kissed me on the lips, I'd be like, we'd already have a problem. But then if he's like, yes, and Mr. Sean, I would like it if you would suck on my tongue. I don't know how bad it would look if you throw hands at the Dalai Lama, but I bet most people would at that point. TX47 over on Rumble says, for $5, says, the tongue sucking thing is a transfer healing energy. The more you know. Oh, yeah. Oof. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Irish Legacy for $2. Thank you. If you meant to send something, sorry. If I'll try to see if you meant to send something along with it. Jonathan saying, I let him suck my toes. Oh. Big Chunkus says, I draw the line at swallowing the gravy. Well, you draw that line very far out there, my friend. So he called the boy up on the stage and he said, kiss me on the cheek here. And then the boy obliges, and then he gives him a hug and he's holding on to the boy. And then he says, motion my lips, saying, kiss me here. Okay. Kiss him on the mouth. And then he says, suck my tongue. And this just reads like kind of like some creepy, like erotica. The boy slowly moves his head closer to the Dalai Lama's, but appears to only touch his forehead before withdrawing. That's just oh. Ugh. And this happened at the Suglagang Temple, where the Dalai Lama resides out in Tibet. I think that's how you say it. This actually might be easier if the Chinese. I thought they took over Tibet. Like, why doesn't he got like a Chinese name? Like, China #1, Chairman Mao Dalai Lama Palace. Like, why isn't it named that or something I can follow? Instead, it's this. Like, the fuck is this? Oh. But still, like at his house, it's like, is that part of the underground psychic vampire potbelly goblin pedophile cabal that Alex Jones warned us about? Some might say yes. Maybe. Kimbo saying, stop lying. You be sucking that tongue before you even finish the sentence. Yes. Claude is saying he skipped double dog dare, went straight to triple dog dare. Yes. Stabby saying, "How dare you disrespect his religious practices?" Now stay still while the rabbi kisses your penis. Okay, but that's actually not uncommon during a bris. I actually, I asked Joe about that on one of his streams. Like there's some things behind that. That's so yeah. Pink Chungus says, "Listen, swallowing is gay, and I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men." Chungus, "I got news for you. That means you're gay." John Thompson saying, "It's called grooming, Sean. Act like you don't know." Yeah, it's like, but jeez. Jay says the video is gross. I'm not. I don't necessarily need to watch the video. It sounds bad. Chance Schofield says, the FBI added it to their collection. Oh, they probably offered him like they probably sent him an email like, "Hey, Dalai Lama, bro. If I ever mentioned we called you bro, like we here at the FBI do like doing sketchy criminal things. So, hey, we want you to join us." Name of some sort says it's the Indian part of Tibet. Oh, okay. Wrestler Toad says it's actually pronounced as Fucktown. Yes, you brought a bunch of kids into Pound Town. What did you expect to happen? Eric's saying, "Post the show at Odyssey so I can post my Dalai Lama memes." Odyssey does show up, and it should. Just let it upload because Odyssey synchronizes, and I'm under 2 hours, so you should get it there. So, yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily need to watch that video because it's just this was kind of funny, but yet creepy at the same time. So, and Eliza's saying he did a Biden. Yes, he kind of did a Biden. That's also sad as well. Oh, well, guys, that was a lot tonight. We got through quite a bit. I'm actually surprised I got through as fast as I did. I'm very impressed with myself, by the way. So that is it for tonight. If you guys want to join us over on locals.com, potentiallycriminal.locals.com, we're going to be hanging out for a little bit and going through everything that's going on and just talk for a little bit and kind of wrap up the week. Now, before we go, I did want to tell you guys, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm sure you guys remember one of the trials we covered last year was the state of Ohio versus Matthew Moore. He was accused of murdering his wife by hanging her in a tree with a printer cable. Okay. Well, he got acquitted, and Diane Menashe was his attorney. I have been working this out. I've been in contact with Matt. Since then, Matt and I have worked it out. He is actually going to Wednesday night come on for an interview and a Q&A session. If you guys don't remember Matthew Moore, this is him. And he's happy to come in and talk. He'll be willing to answer all your questions. He actually wrote a book. It's actually available on Amazon. It's called Emily Finding the Truth. It's written by him. He's willing to talk to you, answer your questions. I mean, think about it. He spent 15 months in jail for this. He had to suffer the loss, and then he had, then eventually got imprisoned, and then had to fight for his life. And he has since won. He's got a lot of questions, certainly. And from talking to him, he actually does have questions kind of about his case that he never had the chance to ask his attorneys. He's actually probably going to ask me a little bit, but he will be here and you guys can ask him questions. And he's willing to be open book. He's been very cool about it. He's prepared to pretty much answer anything. So don't bring up the, we're not going to do no balls or no balls or baldo questions, but pretty much everything else. So we will have Matthew Moore on. we will have Matthew Moore on to do a Q&A. And SG Blue says, I think he's guilty. And you know what? SG, if you want to come on and you can ask him some questions, certainly, you can fire your questions up and he'll be willing to talk about it. I think it'll be great. Kyle's saying, this guy's trial is how I found you. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? If you want to talk to him, he will be here. We'll be doing it live. That's a shame saying his attorney is badass. Yeah, Diamanashi is a very good attorney. I didn't say no Baldo or no Baldo questions. Yeah, I said no. Did you do it? I mean, obviously he says, he's going to answer no, but certainly if you want to ask him that question, you can. Now, I will say, guys, there's going to be probably a lot of people. If you do super chat a question, certainly that'll get brought immediately up first and foremost. So, that's going to be kind of the guaranteed way because him and I are going to be talking as well. So it's not just going to be him just answering questions. Certainly he's going to want to talk about what's going on. Peter Watkins says sounds cool. Fuck the state. Yes. Harble Warble says if he confesses live, does it count? There is a case out of Virginia where the guy got acquitted of murder and he taunted the prosecutor's office by saying, you guys completely got it wrong. Here's how I did it. Well, that was independent evidence and they retried him on that and with the independent evidence, and the court said, well, that's not double jeopardy at this point because it's a confession and he got convicted of murder. So no. And I don't think he did it. And, I get it's a joke, but no, I talked to him and I fully believe he didn't do it. But if you disagree, you're more than welcome to come on. Justin says, what if you did it though? Yes. He's got a really good sense of humor. So I don't think he'll have a problem with that. He's a pretty funny guy. So that is it for me, but I wanted to tell you guys about that. I'm going to start pushing this out there. If you guys want to, if you guys are on anybody else's, channels and you're in the chats, go ahead, spread the word. I think it's going to be a fun time. I am really looking forward to this. I've been working on this with Matt about 2 weeks now, trying to line everything up. I'm very, very stoked. I'm excited. Trying to be cool about it and not freak out, but I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So I will see you guys next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If something breaks during the week, we might be able to cover that. I've got trial prep coming up. I've got a trial set for the 24th that I've been getting ready for. That is probably going to go. So I apologize. We haven't had the chance to cover the Mitchell case out of Columbus. That one is one I'm going to want to cover once it's done, and we'll go back through it. That's the Columbus police officer who's getting retried for the murder of a streetwalker. So that'll be interesting, and I think it'll be fun. Barton Bell is saying, if I sent you an old case, could you look over? It's done with, but it ripped a ton apart. If you send me something, I'll take a look at it, maybe for a little bit at least. Demon's Wrath saying, if Matt was my client, would I recommend against the interview? No, if his case is done, there's no reason not to. And I actually did call Diane Minashi to clear that. They no longer have an attorney-client relationship, but she said, certainly I have the right to talk to him at this point. So I was able to contact her. I'm still trying to work out with her, getting her to come on and talk about Husel and Matthew Moore and the other things she's been doing, because she's been racking up some W's in the meantime. But that is another topic for another day. So, Legal Vice is covering that case, but I still want to cover it myself. What's the next live trial? I don't know. It's probably something in May. I'm not sure yet. I've been busy as hell lately, so I apologize that I haven't been able to do it. It's been months. It's like Full Metal Jacket. It's been months since I heard a shot fired in anger or covered a live trial. So, with that being said, guys, we're all done. Thank you for everybody on Rumble, everybody over on Locals, guys. I will be out there in a minute to start the after party, the after show. Thank you, everybody in YouTube, for the chats, super chats, everything you guys have done. Victoria says, I did not know that they're hearing his case. We'll have to cover that if that's televised. I'll look into that. Thank you. And with that being said, until next time, guys, especially remember, 8 o'clock Wednesday, Matthew Moore. Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, everybody.